Hello everybody, and welcome to this short video all about Reality Cloud Studio powered by HxDR. My name is Paul Burrows. I'm the Principal Software Solutions Manager for Hexagon Geosystems, working within the Reality Capture division. And today I'm going to take you through the steps of taking your rich reality capture data from the field to the cloud or from the desktop to the cloud and leveraging our automation and our collaboration tools within a harmonious platform that we call Reality Cloud Studio. So without further ado, let's dive into the first section. The most important part of Reality Cloud Studio powered by HxDR is your data. And in this next section, we're going to look at how you can get your data from your machine up into Reality Cloud Studio and start working with it. Okay, in this short video now, we're going to introduce to you HxDR Dataflow, which is a desktop tool that allows you to interact with Reality Cloud Studio. So you can see here, I'm just adding my credentials into the platform, putting my password details, accepting the terms and conditions, and then that allows us to create a connection to our Reality Cloud Studio account. And then once we're into the Reality Cloud Studio account, you can see here that there are currently no projects and there's no uploads. So what we're able to do is either go to an existing project, so if you click to the existing projects, you'll be able to see everything that's already established within your account. And then you can choose to upload data directly into HxDR Dataflow. Now, the benefit of using HxDR Dataflow is it effectively is an upload manager. So it allows you to choose the priority of certain files over others. You can see the status of certain files, and you can also pause and resume all your uploads if you want to. So you can see here what we're doing is creating a new folder, and we're going to drag and drop 3 B2G files from a BLK to go directly into the browser. So we just say select. We're going to choose the files from our file system, and then we can start working with that data. So you press open. That is now going to start the upload process. So you can see those 3 files now have been added to the platform. Okay, so let's go into that Upload Manager tab and have a look at those files that are being uploaded. So what I really like about this screen is it gives us an indication of how long it's going to take for those files to arrive in Reality Cloud Studio. Now what you can do is you can pause all those, you can resume all those, you can do that on an individual level. You can even kill an upload if it's the wrong one. And of course, you can reorder those. So if there's a particular project that has priority, then you can go in and you can move that. Now, as I said, the HxDR Dataflow app is completely free of charge. There's a link directly from the platform to download it. And it's also available from a link if you contact your local support teams too. It's a great way of managing your data upload into the platform. So one way to get data from the field to the cloud is to use the Leica BLK Live app. So this is an app which connects to your BLK 360 in this situation. And what you're able to do is directly to connect to Reality Cloud Studio and choose where you want to upload that data. Now, what that will do is with the BLK 360 in particular, you have the option to sync your data directly to your device. So you can now, away from your device, disconnected from your device, simply choose to upload directly from your iPad, your iPhone, up to Reality Cloud Studio. And it really is as simple as just choosing a location and clicking send. So obviously the faster your connection, the faster your data will get there. But this is a really nice way to work with data more quickly. It means people in the office are able to see that information. And of course, if we've got the JSON file, the registration information from the viz, then you're able to perform the automatic registration in Reality Cloud Studio, which speeds up the whole process of creating a finalized asset for you to share with other colleagues and customers. So that is the process of getting your data from the field to the cloud using the BLK Live app. Okay, so in this next section, we're going to look at how you can bring together multiple B2G files that you've collected with maybe a BLK to go, BLK to fly, using our automated registration tools within Reality Cloud Studio. And it might sound cliche, but it really is as simple as clicking a few buttons and using the auto registration tools. So what you can see here, and the reason why I've opened these files, is you can see the individual B2G files. So they're not connected in any way, shape or form. And what we're going to do using the tools within Reality Cloud Studio is bring them together to create a registered cloud, which we can then use whether we want to share that with our clients or our colleagues, maybe we want to mesh it, perhaps we want to download that data for use in another application, or even stream it down into Cyclone 3DR, for example. So what you can see here is within that folder, I'm able just to click auto register, it'll pick up all the files within that folder, we give it a name, and then we can click the auto register button. Now this will just go away, create a new asset and create that registration for you, but please make sure you have about 30% minimum overlap between those scans to bring that all together. But you can see now we've got that new asset. But what I want to show you is, obviously we don't want to wait for that registration process to happen in real time, is one that we did earlier. So you can see now I'm just going to click on this new asset, and this is the Leve data set that you can see on the screen now, which has been created from those 4 separate B2G scans. And then of course, like I said, this is up to you what you do with that data now, whether you want to take measurements, create geotags, limit boxes, virtual tours, all of those tools directly within the Reality Cloud Studio interface. It's entirely up to you what you then do with that data. But it is super simple. It's really easy to get good results. And of course, we'll also look at the process using E57 files too. Okay guys, so in this next video, we're going to show you again the process of registering some B2G files. It's a really nice data set actually from New Orleans that one of our colleagues captured. So you can see here, this is just one of the single B2Gs. And another aspect of Reality Cloud Studio that you might notice is that we're able to bring a really nice color rendition to the data to make everything really jump off the screen. Now what we're going to do here, again, is just look at a couple of those different scans. You know, this one here you can see is of the outskirts of that town square. And we're going to use the automatic registration tools to bring all of that together. But the key point here is we're also going to show you how meshing those data sets can help you clean them. So we're just going to give it a name. We're going to hit auto register as we did before, but we're not going to wait for the real-time process to finish. If we quickly now look at one that we did earlier, we'll just jump back into the previous folder. And what we've done with this data set is actually gone one step further. We've used the automatic mesh creation within Reality Cloud Studio to deliver a nice final result. And just to remind you, this is all streaming over the web. This is all being brought directly into the browser in real time. So what you can see here is just coming on a standard internet connection at home. But what you can see on the screen now is the noise from the BLK to Go data, where we've walked through a very busy street. And just to highlight that, we'll just put that shading method on so you can see all of that noise. And as soon as we flip to the mesh mode, all of that noise has been removed from the data sets. That's another one of the very key tools within Reality Cloud Studio that empowers your workflows. Okay guys, so in this next video, we've already looked at how we can bring B2G scans together using the automated registration workflows, but now we're going to look at files that have been sent directly from the field to the cloud. So I went out one lunchtime with the all-new BLK 360 and I scanned a small church and I uploaded that data directly from the BLK Live app, the free of charge app, directly to Reality Cloud Studio. Simply put my credentials into the app and then push that data to the cloud. So what you can see now is a result of that. All those files are there. So we're able to do this from Cyclone Field 360 or the BLK Live app, and with sensors where we have viz information. So the RTC 360 and the all new BLK 360. So you can see here, there's lots of individual little scans and you've got the image information, but we want to bring those together using the automatic processing within Reality Cloud Studio. So it's as simple as putting them all in that one folder. We go to auto register on the top menu bar, and then we click that and it will pick up all the files in the folder and allow us to create that registration. So we click auto register, it will give us the list of the files, and the key point is you've got your scans, in this instance some 20 plus scans, but there's also what's called a JSON file, and the JSON file contains the viz information that allows us to complete the registration directly within Reality Cloud Studio. So what we do now is once we're happy with the files that's picked up in the file name, of course you can't use B2G on an E57 bunch, so you get an error warning, but once we're happy we click auto register. And you'll see when we move to the second page after that auto registration process has started, you can see that that new asset has been created and that automatic registration process has kicked off on the platform. and then in a short space of time, you'll have a finalized registration that you can start working with. So one of the really powerful features which you should be aware of now is the meshing capability, but specifically the automated meshing capability within the platform. Okay guys, so now we've created our registration using the automatic registration tools. We're going to show you the process of moving that file to another location, and this is purely for my benefit to kind of manage that process flow. So I have a little folder called meshing where I move this data, so I know that I've done the registration and now I want to create a mesh. But what's really nice is when you do that, it creates a little shortcut in the bottom right that you can jump straight to the folder where you've moved your new assets. You can see now we have this church automatic registration that we've created. And all I'm going to do is now show you that menu bar. If you click those three dots, we're able to see all the different tools that are available for that asset right now. But we haven't yet created a mesh. So what we do now is I'm going to open that point cloud data. So this is the fully automatically registered point cloud data that is now sitting in Reality Cloud Studio. So just to reiterate that workflow, scan in the field with BLK Live App, upload to Reality Cloud Studio remotely, perform the automatic registration, and now I'm going to create a mesh. So you can see there's lots of different ways we can create a mesh. We can choose the sensor specific settings to get the best result, and all we then do is click mesh, and that will start the meshing process. And again, completely fully automated. Now you may want to fine tune those, and in the future we'll offer tools to do that. But for now, these really are sensor specific tools. And if you've got data from a third-party solution, you can use the generic option and you can get a really nice result out of the platform using the automatic meshing tools as well. Now what we're going to do here is just look at if we have an asset, if it says generate mesh, then currently no mesh exists. If that option is not there, then the asset already has a mesh. So what we're going to do here is, this is the point cloud. We're looking at a point cloud for an RTC 360 dataset, and if you hover at the top to switch to the mesh mode, you can generate the mesh from there. You can also generate the mesh from the asset information panel, and of course you can generate it if you click the three little buttons directly on an asset too. Now once you're ready, in this situation, this is an RTC dataset, we would just choose that and we would press mesh and it would go off and it would automatically create that asset. It would take minutes or hours depending on the amount of data, and then we would end up with a final result. So what you can see here, if I click on those three dots, it doesn't say generate mesh, which means that we have a mesh for that asset and we can open up that data set. And I just want to highlight and reiterate again that this is streaming real time directly into your browser, and you can see the level of visual fidelity that we're able to achieve with the meshing within Reality Cloud Studio. Now that will depend on the sensor, it will depend on the image quality, but you can see here that the mesh that we're able to generate is really, really nice. Not on top of that, we can share a link to this and the end user would see the mesh and it would load incredibly quickly within their browser, but we can also download the mesh. So we can download an OBJ file, and we'll add more file formats in the future, and then that asset can be used in other applications. So that really highlights the power of meshing within Reality Cloud Studio. Okay guys, so now we've seen the process of registering our data and also kicking off the meshing process. But what we can see here is the final result of that mesh process that we've just kicked off in the previous part of the video. So you can see the quality of the information. So just to remind us, this is uploaded directly from the field to the cloud using the BLK Live App, been automatically registered in Reality Cloud Studio and now automatically meshed. And what you can see here is the ability to navigate the actual mesh itself, or you can jump into those panoramas as well and actually see the full 360 imagery that we've collected with our sensors. Now, you've got these tools on the left-hand side within Reality Cloud Studio, the first of which is the limit box. And this allows you just to hone the area of interest that you're working with and really kind of narrow down what it is that you want to share or display to your end user. This could be internal colleagues or it could be external partners, but ultimately what we're trying to achieve is a really nice condensed version of that data set. So here you can see we've got standard tools at the bottom to be able to manually tweak all those values. We can override all those, or we can go into the full 3D interface and we can drag those fields however we wish to get the size of box that we're interested in. We can also grab the very edges of the box to allow us to rotate the limit box too if we want to. And then once we're finished we can save that and we can display all the others obviously within the saved menu bar that you can see. But the other really nice thing, as I said before, is we can go back and edit that at any point, or we can share that deep link URL directly to someone within the project, which they can then go and see the specific area in which you're highlighting. Okay, so another one of the tools that we have within Reality Cloud Studio is the measurement capability. Now, obviously, as you'd imagine, most tools that we have, whether it's TrueView or Cyclone Register 360, have this capability, but we have a really nice implementation of the measurement tools within Reality Cloud Studio that make it super easy. Now, the other good thing to note is if you send someone a shared URL, they are able to take measurements. So they're not able to do much else in that dataset. They can see things that you have added, like geotags and tours, but they're actually able to create measurements in there. So that's something to remember. Now, of course, there's different methods. One is distance, super simple, 2 points. The other is area that you're seeing now, the ability just to pick a few points. You double click to finish off the area measurement, and it will give you each side of the area of the space that you've measured plus the area calculation for the middle. Then there's also another tool which we don't have in some of our other solutions, which is the planar measurement tool. So what that allows us to do is pick 3 points to define a plane. And once we have that plane established, every time we pick a point to measure, it will drill down to the plane. So that's what we're going to show you now with the planar measurement tool. So we pick our 3 points, and you'll see this nice blue plane appear within your data set. And that is now where everything is going to be projected to in terms of measurements. So we can just make multiple picks and that will drill down. And if you zoom in far enough, you'll see a little red mark which indicates where it's drilling down from the highest point to the lowest point for the measurement using planar mode. So one of the really, really nice tools within Reality Cloud Studio is the ability to create geotags. Now, geotags allow you to really effectively communicate with internal and external stakeholders around a given asset. So what you'll see here at the minute, where we're in that same data set that we've created, we've taken through the whole process flow of registration, meshing, and now we're working with the data in 3D in the browser. You can see all the pre-existing geotags that I have created, and now I'm going to go through the process of starting to create some more geotags. Now, if you're really used to using reality capture products from Geosystems, you're probably already aware of the notion of geotags, whether that's creating them in Cyclone Field 360 or creating them in TrueView or Cyclone Register 360. This is just another place that we can create these small little markers with enough information to allow us to share that between different parties. And the other brilliance about the geotags is, of course, we can edit them if you have that level of control over the asset, if you're a particular level. If you're a user, a viewer, you will just be able to see the geotags. You won't be able to create any more, you won't be able to edit them. But if someone sends you a URL link, then you can go and open that asset and you'll see any geotags which have been peppered across that entire data set. Now, of course, we can just jump in now. All we're doing is just going from point to point to point, adding more geotags and building out this list on the left-hand side, which we can show all and hide all or make individual ones visible at any point in time. But one really cool feature is the ability to create a link directly to a specific geotag. So if you want to share information about your asset, you can share the whole asset if you want to, but you can also share a deep link URL to a given geotag, and that makes working and collaborating, within country, external to you, outside your own borders, much easier. One of my favorite tools within Reality Cloud Studio is the ability to create virtual tours directly within the platform. So it's incredibly powerful, it's super easy, and you can, at the end, you can either share a link to your virtual tour, or you can actually share a video which you can render directly within the platform. So what you can see here, there is a couple of tours that I've already created within this asset, but I want to create a new one. I want to show you how easy it is to create a new asset directly within Reality Cloud Studio. So you can see here, I'm just going to get myself in roughly the right position. I'm going to click Add Tour. Now, once I click Add Tour, you can see there's a whole series of automatic options if you want to test those. But you also now, if you want to create a manual one, you can just click at every single position where you want the camera to go within that virtual tour. You can then specify the time that you want that tour to take, You can smooth the spline, you can do anything you want to make that look really, really nice. But I just wanted to show with this video how easy it was to create this video content. So yeah, we're just doing this automatically. Every time we move to a new position, we're just pressing the add viewpoint. And then once we've created all of our viewpoints, that is our tool created. We can go in at any point in time and edit any of those keyframes. So or one of those positions, we could edit the orientation, the height of those camera paths, what they're looking at, the focal point, or even the duration. And we can also smooth everything out if we want to give ourselves the best possible, the best possible experience and tool within that data set. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to save that. And once we've saved it, we can go back in and edit it. It's not finalized. And once we've also saved it, we can then record it, and we can record it out in 30 frames a second, 60 frames a second, but it will be done directly within the platform. And then that is something that you can share with your end user really easily. Now, if you share a URL of this asset to an external party, if they open that up, all the virtual tools that you've created will be there for them to see. They won't be able to edit them, but they'll be able to view, so you can create a story around your asset. And that's one of the major powers of the tool functionality within Reality Cloud Studio. We have some really powerful tools to manage the people who are using and accessing your Reality Cloud Studio account, whether that's internal team members or people you've invited, external collaborators. We have a way to make sure that they can see exactly what you want them to see. So what we're going to do now is just look at this project members tab within our folders. And within there, you can see everyone who has access to this primary demo account, which I have set up. Now let's look at McKenna. McKenna is currently an editor, but let's imagine we wanted to change her project role to either a collaborator or a viewer. We can simply click change project role, and we can then choose what she can and can't access within the demo account. Now, what you can see here is a matrix which shows what everyone can and can't do depending on their level. And of course, you do have like an admin super level, which would control the whole platform for everyone and can add and remove users independently. But just take a good look at that. That information is also available directly within the help file too. So what we can do is we can change McKenna to a viewer, and you can see that is updated. And as simply as we've changed it to a viewer, we can just change her back to a collaborator or editor, so she then has full access rights back into the project. And really, creating and editing those settings is as easy as that. So one of the major features of Reality Cloud Studio is the ability to stream that data directly into other Leica Geosystems solutions. And in this case, we're streaming the data from Reality Cloud Studio to Leica Cyclone 3DR. So what this allows us to do is have a direct connection to our project, so we can sign in with all our existing credentials. And then once we're signed in, we can drill down to the project level and choose which asset we want to work with. Now at the minute, this is just streaming point clouds. This is not streaming meshes. But what it allows us to do then is perform maybe more complex operations within Cyclone 3DR. So whether that be floor flatness analysis or deviation reporting, clash analysis, BIM progress monitoring, all the stuff that one day we will of course have in the cloud, but for the time being, this is how we can work with that data. So what you're seeing now is that data streaming in real time from Reality Cloud Studio down into Cyclone 3DR. And then we can use all the standard tools. We can use the coordinate system tools, the limit box tools, and then we convert the data to our working format, which takes a couple of seconds. And then once that is done, we can start doing all those things. So whether we want to create a mesh, for example, of course, we've got meshing in Reality Cloud Studio, but perhaps we haven't used that capability. We want some more, fine-tuned, granular settings that we want to play with the data within Leica Cyclone 3DR. So that process of connecting and streaming is really simple and incredibly powerful if you're an existing Leica Cyclone 3DR user, and we can guide you through that process if you want to start working in that way. So thank you very much for listening to that video all about Reality Cloud Studio powered by HxDR. What we've done today is to show you that whole process flow of taking your data into the platform using our HxDR data flow app, how you can register that data automatically in the platform, and of course mesh and do some automated cleaning as part of that process. We've then looked at how you can use the tools to create limit boxes, geotags, measurements, and virtual tours, and allow you to then share that data with your internal and external stakeholders. So we hope you enjoyed the process and enjoyed and understood exactly what we're talking about through that whole video. And if there's any questions, do not hesitate to get in touch. But thank you very much for listening.